Welcome, everybody, to Musical People and Journeys, a new rock album review show. I know I don't have my heavy metal t-shirt on because it's too hot here in the UK. We're in a heat wave, and we are bringing hot tracks, hot albums to you all. And half the crew are either incapacitated or not available. So we have myself, Andy, and Lauren. We are missing Chris and Paul and Trish, but we're going to tell you what they voted for anyway. So. We've got 3 albums here on the podcast to talk to you about: Evergrey and the Architects of New Weave. Now, Evergrey are a returning band, previous Hall of Famer. I can never pronounce it. Evanescence. Am I that right? Am I pronouncing it right? And their album Sanctuary and Webb, and kind of a local kind of grassroots band brought to the table by Mind Games and their album Mind Games. Starting with Evergrey and the return of Evergrey to Architects of a New Weave. Now, somebody who's always an architect of a new wave, and she weaved her dulcet tones across the airwaves, is Lauren. Lauren, talk to me, your first taste of Evergrey, dark melodic rock.
Yeah, so it was the sort of thing of where, I mean, I was very pleasantly surprised because, like, looking at the album cover, like, because we listen to so much stuff, you sort of start to learn what specific genres look like. Like, never judge an album by its cover, but you start to learn what stuff is just by how it looks. So I will happily admit, I went into it with like a preconception and like a small little Google beforehand to be like, okay, what am I walking into here? I was like, oh, okay, there's going to be some nice melodies going on. There's going to be a lot going on, a lot to take in. However, listening to this album compared to everything I've read and then a few of the tracks I've listened to before, I was really pleasantly surprised because, yes, this had the great melodies. Yes, there was the powerful vocals. But there seemed to be such a change in like the direct emotionality and the lyricism, which it just hit me. Like, yes, this isn't entirely in my wheelhouse of stuff that I like have on repeat constantly. However, like this album lyrically hit a sweet spot because, like, as I've said before, a big thing for me when it comes to listening to music is lyricism. It's how do you connect with it? How does it make you feel beyond just how it sounds? So to have that direct line to almost tap into that part of my brain, just lovely, really, really lovely. Like I said, there was a slight bit of sort of flavour fatigue for me going through it because some of it did sound a little bit samey to start. However, I think if I was a fan coming back to it with everything I've heard from them previously, this feels like such a nice little introduction of like with the direct emotionality that flavour fatigue probably wouldn't happen just because you'd be like, oh, this is different. But of course, for me, it's my first main experience of them. But overall, I thought it was beautifully poignant. It was really well produced. I really enjoyed the vocals. Yeah, definitely a very pleasant surprise. I'm really interested to find out more.
I love the youth of today and the words that they come up with. There's a learning day every day. I love it. Flavour fatigue is a very nice way of saying it was a bit samey, really. But I love it.
I got on this a bit samey.
I know, right? So what?
That's a lot of it now.
So talking about flavour fatigue, Andy.
Yeah, I thought this was a reasonable album. I didn't not like it. I didn't find that it hit my sweet spot hugely through for it either. It's sort of dark and melodic. Yeah, you can sort of like see that. Lauren said you sort of see the cover, and it's all about sort of aliens and actions and H.R. Geiger kind of stuff happening to it, which is fine. Yeah, but it's what I'd call probably a bit chuggy for me in that it's good. There's good songs on it. I picked out The World's on Fire, Leaving the Emptiness. Those are good songs which I enjoyed. Maybe there were some of the sort of slower songs which went through for it, a bit more of the sort of melody which came through for it. But apart from that, it didn't hugely stand out for me either with some of the stuff. It did get a little bit I had flavour fatigue, or maybe it's just a bit samey and such for it. It didn't feel super new and fresh for it, in that it did sound like it didn't sound like it was super original in what it was doing. It was probably just more of good, solid, heavy melodic metal music. Rather than anything which was like, wow, that's different, that's new, that hits something which I haven't heard before. I mean, it's well done, well sung, good guitars on it, but it's one of those ones which just didn't stand out of the crowd for me for it.
So,
still good.
The strength of Evergrey is their heavy, melodic, flavoursome rock. The weakness of Evergrey is their heavy, melodic, flavoursome rock. And I say that in the nicest possible way. For me, this really hit my spot. I love heavy melodic rock. I absolutely love it. And this really kind of hit my sweet spot. The Shadow Self and the Burning Flame were absolutely magical, immersive, absolutely incredible tracks. And I think that's the slight downside of Evergrey, is that you need repeated listens. You need to immerse yourself. It's very difficult, isn't it, when you're reviewing 6 albums or so, to kind of really get in there, because you've got to go back, and particularly if something particularly this month catches your hits more of your sweet spot, and you don't want to leave that album, and so that might be coming suffering. Now, luckily for me, that I listened to this album first, and I listened to it on repeat. I had nothing else to move on to change my palette, and I didn't want to change my palette at that point, which put me a little bit behind. But it was that good. Fantastic album, really good to see them back. Yeah, loved it, absolutely loved it. Really hit my sweet spot. Really good. Right. Let's find out, shall we? Will it be good enough? Will they get their second entry into our Hall of Fame? I think the previous album, which escaped me temporarily because I didn't write it down because I'm an idiot. I think I got like 4.4 or something. Anyway, so Architects of a New Weave. What will they weave? Lauren?
I gave it a very solid 3.5.
Paul didn't like it. Average 2.5. Not looking good, but we will lose one vote. Will it be his? Andy?
Seemed like Lauren liked it more than me, but I gave it a 3.5.
Oh, okay. Do you know what? So did Cully. Cully also give it a 3.5.
Oh.
I give this a 4.5. There we go. So only a 5 from Trish. If she does give it a 5, and we all know she's been a bit harsher this year, so a 5 from Trish would see this album get into our Hall of Fame, because we'll obviously be dropping Paul's 2.5. And without any shadow of a doubt, she didn't let the team down. A 5 from Trish, giving it a score of 4 on average. Well done, Evergrey, into our back another entry into our Hall of Fame. I mean, and now our Hall of Fame stretches to 151 plus albums, so it gets into our top 151 joint, not quite into our top 150 albums. That's how tough it is. However, it is currently in our top 20 albums of the year so far, but I'm not sure whether that's going to last, knowing what's coming. Anyway, so we quickly move on to Evanescence, and
we're not doing our 2-word thing.
Oh, go on then. What's your go on? Give me.
I'm just wondering because we did do it for views, but there you go.
No, we didn't do it for views, but we should do. What's our 2-word review? You're absolutely right. I'm absolutely terrible. I'm a bad man. Lauren,
that's why I'm here to back you up.
You are.
And
you
say,
are, my friend.
We do this feature. You're gonna do it.
You will do it.
I've worked on it. I spent a whole 10 seconds working it out. I want that 10 seconds to be recognised.
Go on then, Andy. 2 words. Rub it up.
Oh, it's not even worth it. I just put it through 2 grey, and that's not even worth it, quite frankly.
So it wasn't worth it. It
So
wasn't.
No.
All that effort for 2 grey.
seconds.
Pathetic. Yeah. Lauren.
Mine was powerful and poignant.
Ooh, that's 3 words.
What powerful
Powerful
point.
slash.
I go for Evermore.
Ooh.
You
Little
can
bit
come
of
up.
Dragon Poe for you there.
You can come up with Flavour Fatigue if you want. Evanescence, Sanctuary.
Yes.
Andy, let's start with you then, buddy. Are you a fan?
I liked it back in the day, back in the sort of early 2000s. Obviously, you had Wake Me Up, which was the sort of the massive, big, old anthem from them, which you couldn't really escape. Yeah, it's probably on every single, teen drama there was possibly going in the mid 2000s, without a doubt. When you ever need a bit of bit of grit, bit of emo going through. So obviously, it's Amy Lee, who's the lead singer of it, and, sort of like the emo darling of that time. But she's a bit older now. She's ditched the other founder, which was there. He walked out, and I think this is actually it was just a great listen for me through for it. It feels like a much more mature, grown up woman singing it now rather than the sort of the young emo thing. So he's sort of been through that. Still lots of drama going through for it, but with a sort of different, mature viewpoint. Her voice is fantastic. It really is, and she's got the vibe, and it's backed up by the music all the way through it. Unlike again a degree of the theatrically, which was there. There's got some strings in some of it. There's synthy bits which come through. So there's a good mix and a good sort of different vibe of the entire album, which went all the way through it. Again, it's somehow it's out songs. How Do I Heal? Tomorrow with you, without you, sorry, which was really there was really good songs which came through for it, and I think it's I think it's a very good, mature, great listen album, without a doubt.
Lauren, fan?
Yeah, I mean, it was the sort of thing of Evanescence came at just the right time with their ballads back in the day. I mean, in the 2000s, it hit a sweet spot because the late 2000s, not to make you feel old, gentlemen, but the late 2000s were when I was becoming a teen. So it was just the perfect puberty fuel that there was, because you were just like, oh yeah, I have all these feelings, I'm hormonal. Oh yeah, no one understands me, and so it was just the perfect kindling for being a moody ass teenager. And it was one of those things where I think, because they were such a massive mainstream hit, it was very easy for them to become pigeonholed, and especially Amy Lee as a female artist within the genre, because that was still quite a big thing back then. Like, doing that mainstream as a female singer was a very impressive feat, but you got pigeonholed really fast. I've sort of vaguely kept up with them in the meantime, as we all know, we all go on journeys and our taste develops, and I will be the first to admit, I thought I was just going to always get a bit of the same. Coming back into it, one of my main first tastes was I heard her sing again on End of You with Poppy and Courtney LaPlante. And the only reason I heard that is because Poppy was on it, and I was a huge fan of Poppy's album. Because I was like, I've never liked industrial metal or anything along those lines, but some of the stuff she threw into there was fantastic. And I was listening to songs, and End of You came on, and I was like, wait a minute, I know that voice. That's bloody Amy Lee, that is. And I was just like, oh, this is got this warm familiarity, but there's a maturity, there's a additional depth. So I was then really excited to come into this album and see what it had in store. And oh, holy shit. Holy shit. It's got real gorgeous elements where it's sharp and industrial, and it's everything you'd want from that style of rock. And then the pacing and the emotionality within it is fantastic, because then it was literally a case of, I listened to How Do I Heal during it, where it was this moment of almost respite from all this industrial sharpness and everything else going in it. And that was when you were back. You were back in that nostalgic moment of you had Amy singing with her incredible voice, and I was like, whoa. And I felt myself choke up. I was like, wow, that is fantastic. And I was like, oh, okay, cool, right. And then we went, right, straight after that, back into About Us and Calm Down and Self-Destruct. It then got back into the, and you were like, do you know what, Amy? Nice one for reminding us that you got the chops, and now we're back into the real stank face good stuff. But then out it comes again with Forever Without You. And at that point, I lost it, gents. I bawled. It was absolutely superb because she just sung that with sheer emotionality, sheer power. There was no vocal tricks and trilling and all this. It was just, you could hear her and you could hear the power behind her and the amount of vocal control that she has. And it was the fact that as someone who could have been pigeonholed and gone pure ballad singer and pure rock ballad singer, for her to have those elements in there, but then still have the rest of the album shine the way it did, oh, it was just sensational. I was so pleased. Like, I was just gushing to Nigel about it in the office because I was like, oh my God, it's amazing. To me, it's just one of those things that this album shows why they are a staple in the genre, in the industry. And it shows why Amy has been one of my idols for a long time, because God damn it, the woman can sing and she knows what she's doing. So big up to her. And she's paved the way for so many female artists that I now absolutely adore the bones of. So yeah, absolutely joyous to listen to this album.
So a couple of months ago, I was invited by a friend of mine to go and watch Evanescence in concert. And I said, nah, really not my cup of tea. I've heard a few of their tracks, really a bit skanky, bit like grungy. Really, no, not my cup of tea. And I said no. And after listening to this album, I goddamn regret it. Because this album is probably, so far, for me, one of the best albums, if not the best album of the year. It's absolutely magical. This album has, I like a bit of heavy rock and a little bit of ballads and that sort of stuff. I came out, didn't we? We said, like, oh my God, how do I heal? Absolutely choked. It was absolutely just, you hit me right there. It was just rapture then on the other side of the fence. This album is full of it. It's not got a weak track in it. Her voice has that symphonic kind of metal, which I love, vibe to it. And it wasn't, there was a bit of industrial metal there, but it was really tapered back. It was just done just absolutely right. It didn't get really grungy. It didn't get buzzy. It was just absolutely perfect. This is an absolutely stonker of an album. It really is. It's got everything I love about rock in there, from that bit of symphonic to that bit of industrial to the ballads. Oh my God, what emotion in that. How Do You Heal was just absolutely superb. So yeah, big up. Awesome album. Yeah. Awesome album. Right. But will it be enough? Will we all love it enough?
Well, there's probably 3 high scores so far.
Well, I think let's hit this then.
I imagine Trish will love it as well.
Well,
somehow.
Let's find out.
We'll see. We'll see.
Let's find out. Andy,
a very strong 4.5.
There's not so much love in the house. There's likability in the house from Paul with a 4. Matched by Cully with a 4.
Ooh, okay.
Matched by Trish with a 4. Trish doesn't do ballads. She doesn't do ballads. Yeah. Lauren, what did you give
it? Safe to say this is one of the easiest 5s I've ever given.
And I'm going to match that with a 5 as well. Absolutely phenomenal. So Paul was not going to be showing up anyway, so I've ditched his 4. Because, like, what the hell? This is a 4.5. It is currently our joint favourite album of the year. It's joint #1 album of the year with Night Thieves. It's got a 4.5. which is which if you had last year, it probably wouldn't even be in the top 6, 7. It would have
Yes.
got in the top 10, but this year so far, everybody we know has been a bit harsher with their scoring. About 4.5, joint number 1 album of the year so far, and currently it's our joint 26th favourite album of all time. That's how good this album is. This is how good this album is. It's absolutely good. Not have a below a 4 is I with this lot I can't ever see the perfect 5 5s, but we'll see. So let's finish off with our 2-word review then, because otherwise Andy will go, I spent some time on this. Andy, let's get your 2-word review then.
Because the name of the album Sanctuary, I've got Safe Zone.
Sure, let's move on then. He's really put a lot of thought into this, hasn't he? Lauren?
Mine was Sublime Sanctuary.
Ooh, I'm going to keep on with the previous theme. Rather than Evermore, I'm going to go Evanmore. Come on! Right, okay. We're moving on now. How can you follow that? How can you follow that? Well, you know that nothing's going to beat it, but something might match it. Who knows? Web and Mind Games then. Talking about Mind Games, Andy, do you want to start with your 2-word review?
Oh, starting with it.
Mind Games, all Mind Games. You
got me.
Right, okay. Start with you then, Andy. What do you think?
I say me again. Okay, cool. No, yeah. This one's probably a bit too heavy for me. It has to be said. Sort of like the growly vocals which came through for it. Obviously, it's a localish band which Trish is trying to get those promoting through for it. I did enjoy a fair bit of it, and there was good energy through for it, and there's good attitude through for it as well. So I'm not going to completely diss it as such, but for me, it's just a little bit outside my wheelhouse, especially with the vocals through for it, which came through. So it's their second album, and I think they're okay, but not for me. Right, sorry.
Oh, how about you, Lauren? Were they for you?
So this is something I find very interesting because, of course. So one of the things I love about doing the show and the way my music taste works is I can often bounce between the 2 stages upon a whim, because I have a very eclectic taste, and if it's got rock as a tag on the song, chances are I will listen to it and always give it a go. But it also means my taste sits in weird ways. So a lot of people who watch the show will probably look at this and go, oh, Webb, it's growly, it's shouty, it's got all this stuff to it. Lauren will probably like a bit of that. We've heard her talk about stuff like that before. But for me, like I said before, lyricism is a big thing, emotionality. And also, one of the things that Cully often says that I find has really been very applicable throughout the whole journey with the show is sometimes albums just hit at a point where they are just that sweet spot for you, where you go, right now, this is what I wanted. And it sounds like I'm ramping up to say that I adored this album, and I'd really love to say I did, but I didn't. It is one of those where, for me, yes, it was a punchy blend of this very metal vibe, and I'm sure in a few months' time I would probably love it, or maybe even a few months ago I would have loved it. But in my current sort of brain and the thing it's looking for me, it just hit that thing of it was a bit too shouty, which led me feeling a bit muddled. So then, in amongst everything else I was listening to, I was just like, oh, okay, it was just what it was. And it's one of those things where I think, like I said, if I listen to it in the context of other stuff, I'd probably like it a lot more. But also, like, we get the list of songs, I put it in a playlist in the order that we get them. And we've all just heard how much I raved about Evanescence and how it just perfectly itched my brain. So to come off something that I fell head over heels for into something that then didn't sit quite right, I think it became such a jarring opposite of how I felt, where I was like, oh, I've just had the best thing ever. Oh, this just isn't hitting that mark. So it's one of those where I can hear stuff in it that I know that in another time I will absolutely adore. So it's going to be something that I do go back to just to keep giving it a go, because we've seen loads of albums before as well where I've given them 3s or whatever, and then a few months later I'm like, I would have scored it like a 4.5 now. Like, it's just that development in taste. But yeah, unfortunately for me, this is one that just came at a time where it just didn't itch that for me. Didn't scratch that itch.
Yeah. Okay. So the thing is with Webb was my first note was Volbeat 2.0. In terms of that kind of grungy, I wouldn't say too much. I would go Volbeat-esque. I think some of the tunes were kind of similar, kind of have that heavy, heavy rock and roll, not quite Elvis in terms of the way Volbeat does, but that kind of similar kind of vibe and lyricism, which was a bit wacky and a bit crazy and a bit mad. But I really liked the album. I thought it was a little bit different. I thought it was a bit heavier. My problem was that it was what's the word? Flavoursome. What was your expression again? I've forgotten it already. That bit.
Flavour fatigue.
Flavour fatigue, a little bit.
It's all the same.
No hero track jumped out at me. And for me to love an album, I've got to have at least one hero track. And but I enjoyed it. I did enjoy the album. I thought it was certainly my cup of tea, and it was a little bit shouty at places. And it kind of that as the album went on, it kind of went down on that one. But I still liked it. I still really enjoyed the album. I thought it was really good. So yeah, right. Well, let's find out then, shall we? Let's start with you then, Andy. What did you give it?
I gave it a 3.
You did. It was solid.
Which actually is okay. It's solid.
Score. Solid
Could
score.
have been worse, so yeah.
Before we go down that road, Cully liked it. Give it a 4.
Yeah, it's up Cully Street, I think. Yeah.
I liked it. Give it a 4. Lauren.
I was a bit brutal. I gave it a 1.5.
Oh, tell you what, you weren't as brutal.
Right, we'll kick yours out.
You weren't.
Thing is,
Paul really hates it.
I'm really interested to listen to it again in places throughout this month, because already, so we've had our list out. Tune in for the next set of shows, guys. We've already had the list out for the albums we've got going next month, and there have been some real surprises in there for me already. So, and given what those albums are, I'd love to listen to this in the context of that and see how it fits again.
Well, Lauren, Paul was even more brutal with you. He gave it a 1.
There you go.
So we're going to keep it 1.5.
For the first time ever, Paul and I see eye to eye.
I give it a 4, and Trish absolutely loved it, and give it a 5. So we're going to drop Paul's 1, which gives it an 18.5, 3.7 overall.
That's quite impressive still.
Yeah, it's obviously a very Marmite-ish band.
No,
yeah, you either love it or hate it.
Yeah, definitely. Well,
yeah, good way of putting it.
Webb gives 3.5. Webb got not 3.7, 3.5, which is pretty solid score. It gives it our top. It's our top half because it's 361, so it's just about a top half of albums all time. 52nd favorite album of the year so far. So it's solid. It's a solid album, and they're going to get better.
It's not terrible, but
they're definitely going to get better. I think. I want to hear them again.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's one of those bands which needs to find a sound.
Yeah. So next time, get your skunk face on, right? Okay, and let's rock out. Okay, let's go with our 3-word review then.
Is it skunk face or skank face?
Skunk face, whatever.
Skunk face is very different.
I mean, it's either skank face because you're like, or skunk face because you smell something bad and you go, So you get end up with the same result, really.
Yeah, it's true.
Right, Andy, 3-word review.
Oh, I put mind deaf. Mindfuck.
That's not 3 words.
Oh, free? Oh,
My games!
You got me.
So, sorry, what was your 2 words again, mate?
It's my death, mind fuck. There you
Mind
go.
fuck. I've definitely mind fucked with you, haven't I? So,
I don't know where
Laura!
I'm coming from.
Oh, mine was very reflective of the 1.5. I just put so.
So. Okay, there we go. I'm going to go for, rather than Volbeat, let's go for Web Beat. Yeah, baby. Right, okay. Well, that is it for this show. These 3 albums. We'll be back with part of the next one with 3 more albums. But what a show. Evanescence, joint number one album of the year so far. Which, bearing in
Good
mind
stuff.
we're now in the second half of the year. It's very promising, very, very good. But Evergrey with a new entry into the Hall of Fame, their second entry. So congratulations to them. And Webb, I think the summary there is good, and you're going to get better. But there we go. Particularly note. Anyway, right. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Leave your comments below. That'd be good. Thank you to Andy. Thank you to Lauren. Thank you to obviously Trish, Paul, and Chris, who couldn't be here, unfortunately. Summer being the summer, but we'll be back and we'll speak to you soon. Goodbye, and keep rocking and keep safe.